this episode, we're going to talk about craws and creature baits, what we like to throw, time of the year, kind of the rigs and stuff. So I guess I'll start us off with...
What do you got, Ty? What do you got? I'll look through the...
Rage. We'll start with some rage stuff, because we both have something to talk about with rage.
I only got one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I only got one that I really mainly throw.
All the other stuff is left at the pond.
So what we have here is the rage craw in, what is this? This is watermelon red flake, of course. Let's open that up.
I hate the packaging.
That's the only thing I like about it. That's the downside, but it keeps everything nice and clean and neat. You guys can see there. I like this because, for one, it's a kind of a realistic bait, and I have confidence that I don't need to put a skirt on it. I can just put a heavy jig head from 1/4 ounce, 3/4, half ounce, and 1 ounce if I really need to. Don't mind the siren in the background, guys. It's just a school or something. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But you actually can use this as a swim jig trailer if you guys need to, or just popping it, hopping it, that kind of stuff. Letting it flutter down with a really light weight. And the craws, or the claws, tend to want to go like that.
Yeah, let me see it. Let me see it. I'm going to kind of talk about something that I do. Typically, I like to use Alabama rigs, which is when you rig it up, you put a bull weight at the top. I go 1/4 ounce. I don't like to go heavy because I'm a pond fisherman. I'm kind of wimpy in that way. Put a bobber stopper on the end of it. Typically, cast out and cover right before the ledge and just let it flutter because they just sit there and flutter all the way down.
Jazz hands.
The colors I like to use are obviously this watermelon. What's the color called?
Watermelon red.
Watermelon red. I like to use it has green pumpkin on top and typically has orange on the bottom. It's not always 100% perfect. It'll look like this color right here. It'll look like that on the bottom, just a little bit more darker. And out at my places I go to, it looks almost 100% like a craw. And then I'll start off with actually missile D-bombs, which in this color is called the California craw. Okay, I can put that up there. Okay. It's more of a darker with a red flake with green pumpkin on the bottom. Mostly, I tend to put them on jigs sometimes. If you get the baby D-bombs, or a little bit smaller, I have a few with me, but don't feel like getting them out. The red flake looks really well in the sun. They're very durable. Throw a flipping hook on them. You can go through like 7 or 8 fish till it finally decides to pop off. You ever use these, Ty?
Nope.
You've never used these?
Missile?
Yeah.
Never used missile.
Oh, how dare you.
So since I'm on a roll with some rage, I'll start off with another rage craw, but this is the 5-inch, which is more the rage lobster. This is just in watermelon. Just an amazing color I like to use. I always thought about let's get this open first. Oh wow, it's actually a little different on the bottom of that. As you guys can see, it's a lot bigger than the other one, more bulky.
Don't they make the claws a little bit fatter?
They're out
a little bit wider.
Yeah, they're out like, I'm gonna get you. And so I always thought about is actually dipping this in some chartreuse, just the tip of the claws. That's just what I like to do. Just Texas rig it. That's what I like to do, or put it on a football head.
Kind of like how I did with that?
Yes, exactly. Like what do you do with this?
Just dip it and
just dip.
Die.
Hey,
and...
We'll go up north, we'll catch some muskie.
Oh.
Get some pikes.
We die.
Oh.
We be retards and try to lip it and it just
go lip, bass fisherman lipping pike. Alright, here, bro.
Strike King, again, makes another rage craw. They're called structure bugs. I got mine in pearly white. Well, pearl. I don't know if there's such thing as pearly white. Tend to use these a lot for jig trailers. They work fantastic. I'm a huge creature guy, so a lot of flipping, pitching, punching through cover. I go lightweight, I don't know why, but no heavy tungsten like 1 ounce. I like half ounce or 3/4 ounce. Usually use a 4-aught hook. You can also use Trocar's flipping hook, which I have here in my lucky little Altoids box. It's the lucky little Altoids box. Hook about 4-aught. Trocar, they work fantastic. I don't know how many times I've had perfect luck with Trocar, and I don't know, for $6 it's kind of worth the 4 hooks. Yeah, barbs. Sorry about my braid.
There's barbs.
Braided line is my favorite, especially Power Pro. 65-pound test. So, highly recommend this for if you're just going to a pond for small stuff or the river. Any color works best, but this pearl works really good for sight fishing, and that's mainly it for these. What do you got, Ty?
Well,
oh, not the frog. It's a frog.
I'll get there.
Oh,
so since this is my last thing by Rage,
it's a frog.
But this is kind of like a horny toad and stuff.
It's a frog.
It's a frog. But
thank you.
But I have seen people use these as trailers for jigs. I've seen them just put a monster skirt for flipping sometimes. Actually for punching, because you want a big bait for punching.
Tyler, how do we win that tournament? Drop shotting frogs.
How do we win the tournament? Oh, drop shotting frogs in 80 feet of water, of course. This is black in a red flake. I don't really use that, but I prefer a like a Cinco with black and red flake, or sometimes you get, if you can find them, they don't make them anymore, is the Yamamoto red and black swirl. Really good color for the Delta, or just anywhere that's kind of like a pond and stuff. You're up, Casey.
Oh, well, if you guys don't feel like going out and spending like a crap ton of money like we do on our stuff, I'd highly recommend what is known as the Havoc Pit Boss. Is a smaller profile, especially with the trocar hook, works really well. Trocar flipping 4-aught. I use it a lot at my pond. I've actually used it at the Delta, caught a few. Summer craw, which is a green pumpkin with a darker underside to it, black flick. I also have it in just, I don't know what that color would be called.
Just watermelon black, I think.
Watermelon black?
Watermelon black.
Watermelon black flake. Yeah, this one's called the Summer Craw, and that one's watermelon black flake. It's really good for punching since it's slimmer profile. It likes to get through the weeds a lot faster. I don't know if they intended it to be that, but these little ribs on the top actually help glide through. I've tested it a few times and it works really well. They also, they're kind of durable, not really durable. They'll last through maybe 2 or 3 fish till that trocar will start to eat it up right there, but they're easy to melt down, to reuse, and once they get the top front chopped off, they're good for jig trailers. What do you got next?
Alright, what do I got? Let's stick with, I want to roll with some watermelon. So Gambler Baits, the Ugly Otter. Got these in Mystery Tackle. I've used these a couple times on the Delta. I think it came in a 5-pack. I'm missing one. It's creature, kind of. And I used it on the Delta. I caught 1 fish. But I just sticking with the jerk bait all day. But I decided to put on the Ugly Otter to see if I catch one. Of course, I caught one. It's absolutely a wonderful bait. The action is pure, just crazy. Yeah, it's just like every creature bait, but I think this one holds dear to my heart.
What does that paddle tail help it with? I've never really used beavers before. Well,
this one right
beavers,
here?
yeah, but not like those.
This one right here. Well, you can pull it back enough, but if you're bouncing it, these right here, of course, if you swim it, these kind of kick out. And this one right here is for when you're bouncing on the bottom, especially if you're using like the spot remover or the Ned rig. It makes your bait stand up. These actually help for flopping and stuff. And of course, with these long appendages, you could really get in that fish's face and irritate the hell out of it until it just triggers a strike.
I love screen time.
Exactly.
Next we have Reaction Innovations, brought to you dearly by Bait Barn in Waterford. I've been using Reaction Innovations for a long time. I've talked to plenty of guides who talk about Reaction Innovations. Some people like them, some people don't, but they hold truly. They make what's called the Sweet Beaver and the Kinky Beaver. The Sweet Beaver has a little bit more slimmer profile, not very many appendages, works really well for flipping and pitching, especially when you get them in like the 5-inch size, and they're sleek, they're slim, they're very durable. The colors on them are actually really fantastic. And then the Kinky Beaver has a little bit more extra appendages. They have a lot more
appendages.
Oh yeah. You can trim off those middle antennas actually, and you'll get a little bit better of the paddle start to waddle a little bit more. These appendages kind of stick to them. It won't allow them to move. So sometimes I suggest to pull those off or cut them off, or if you're going to use it as a jig trailer. I use them out of my pond a lot. I use everything at my pond. It's kind of fantastic. They're easy to melt down. If you don't have the fleck inside of them, you can melt them down and re-pour them. I've had somebody do that before. You can melt them back together with a simple flame and butter knife, and yeah, I love these things. You're up next.
So I'm gonna go with something that I don't show that often in my videos. It's made by Huddleston. Just a little craw. It's about 2 inches, maybe 2.5 if I'm lucky. I don't know, 2 1/4. Don't really show this in my videos, but I'll show this one because this is not a color I like to use a lot. This is just a craw that looks super realistic. I only use this with bed fishing because I seem to do a lot better with it when I'm bed fishing with it. But if I, just throw it out.
Better in bed.
Wow! Let's keep this PG. Alright, so with this, I just do a 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce, 1 ounce. It all depends on how deep the bed is. or if I just want to go super heavy. But I normally, when I'm bed fishing, is 12 to 15 pound. Don't go anything over that, unless you're on the delta or a pond. You can throw braid. But normally I'm fishing the mother lode lake, so they're either on a small rock cluster or a small V of the tree. But I like to use this, not necessarily this color, just because of how super realistic it is.
Does it have a scent?
No scent.
No scent?
No scent. That color, I'm not going to tell you the real color. I like to use kind of a secret. But they don't make them that much anymore in the color we like to do, so we have to kind of dye the bottom color that we want. Exactly. It kind of gets that color. And, you know, if they have a rig that you can put through the butt, well, I wouldn't say the butt, but the heart of him, and it makes him stand up more like this, like he's going to kind of grab him. Pinch the fish, irritate the hell out of it.
Defense.
You're up.
Well,
too.
Oh, hey, no, that's fine. The last 2 or 3 I have would be Dick's Sporting Goods sells what are called sugar sticks. They're, I don't know what they mostly look like, but they have really big appendage arms. Big Bite Baits makes them. They're called Yo Mamas, but for some reason they decided to copy the same mold, but called sugar sticks. They actually have sugar inside of them. Yeah, they really do have sugar inside of them.
I'm not going to buy the same bottle.
They're either a little bit salty or kind of sugary at the same time.
Yep, there's sugar. That's sugar in it. Wow.
Yeah, sugar. I get it in the Mardi Gras color, which is I'm a big fan of green pumpkin, watermelon, black fleck, red fleck. That's all my favorite. The net bait makes what's called the pack of craws, which you can either buy them in the 4-inch size or the little 3-inch guys, which they have really big appendages, which we tend to like apparently. Long slim body, very durable. They have a rattle tube, well, rattle chamber on the inside where you can slip a little tiny rattle in it to really piss the fish off. Are you okay there?
I can't believe I bit that.
Would you like to try another one that's been sprayed with the pure craw stuff?
No, I'm alright.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. So sugar sticks, I've been throwing them. I love them. It's very durable. Actually, a lot of the baits I have are durable. Dick's Sporting Goods for a pack of 6 sells them for like $3, so I'd recommend going out and getting those. Alright, Tyler, what finishes off our New Year's Eve special on creatures?
Alright, well, this isn't necessarily a creature, but since he was talking about big bite baits, I thought I'd bring in what I got here from Mystery Tackle a while ago. I saw it, as soon as he pulled it out, I was like, oh, there's a coincidence going on. Net baits and big bite baits. Is there a coincidence? Look how realistic, look how close they are, even the faces. And they're even hollow. I'm actually starting, oh, his is all the way hollow. Mine's only halfway hollow. This color.
It has enough in the butt. It has enough right here for it to be meaty.
That's true. I'm not talking down about it. I'm just saying there's
nothing bagging on it.
Nothing bagging on it. I'm just saying, I don't know if they tried to copy him on purpose or on accident. But, of course, same little feelers right here and same spot to put in a rattle. And, of course, you know, this color I tend to use more when the water is dirty or been dirty for a while. So if the water is receding and there's a big, thick mud line for weeks.
Especially after the storms we've been having, that's a great time.
Yeah. And also for the drought that we're in right now, since the water's receding heavily in the waters, and Maloney's and Comanche are really dirty, and McClure, the craws that I've seen are actually kind of this kind of a shade. They're getting really light and not that good. I don't know if it's healthy or just color, but they're getting this color, and I don't quite like it. You know, I like to keep my, the craws with kind of a nice brown top, tan on the bottom, that kind of stuff. But of course, I like this color for when that time period happens, when they get really, really pale. You got all yours?
Yeah, I'm packing up right here and kind of showing, as you can see, the Creature Man. This isn't all of them. I only showed a few. Have a few boxes from Bass Pro. It's $25 pretty much for this whole entire box with all the baits. Recommend going out, get a lot of the cheaper stuff that we like to use, especially Havoc. They make a lot of fantastic stuff. Just don't buy their swim baits.
I did not say that. Alright, so as he's cleaning up, I have some Cabin Creek baits. This is their, what is this? This is their Express Craw. It's in the Tennessee Orange, kind of like...
Does this smell like coffee?
No, I think so. Actually, kind of. I don't know. It actually smells like black licorice. And if you guys could see,
well, it smells kind of fruity.
maybe that's what I said.
It's kind of weird. It's black licorice.
That's black licorice to me. As you guys see, they kind of have a same color, kind of, except this is what's a smoke with copper. This is their Tennessee Orange. But I've used that. Here, I'll let you have one. I've used this once or twice. I don't think I've caught a fish on it yet. I'm not too sure. I'll have to rethink that. It's a real slim profile, big claws. Pretty good for right now, because of downsizing with the craws and stuff right now as the shad's dying off. And up next by Cabin Creek is our small salty spider parts.
Spider parts?
Exactly. It's a real small spider jig. And of course you make it yourself, and they give you a jig head that goes with that. So you come together, and it looks like this. I've yet to use this, but in my past videos I said I would use it on the Stanislaus for those smallies that tend to want to bite a smaller craw than the big craws. But those big smallies, that's a whole other story. I mean, I throw big jigs on there, and they're gone. Because there's a lot of craws in the Stanislaus in our park.
Oh,
and
yes, and they get big.
They get big. I've seen them 9.5 to 10 inches long, and they're a lobster. And of course, the only fish that can really eat that are the striper that come in.
Oh, and the squaws.
And the squaws, the big squaws.
They get big.
And up next, that Z-Man, yeah, here we go.
Hey, why are you getting all the glory here?
Just for right now. This is their turbo craws with a Z at the end. It's watermelon black flake. One thing about Z-Man is it's really stretchy, so that's good for the claws and stuff, for the spots that tend to tear off the craws. Why did I say craws? The claws. And of course the baits hold up pretty good, except if you want to, if you mess up and you got to pull it through, and it really tears the body of the bait. And up next, I think it's my last one,
I hope so.
is a creature, kind of a creature craw kind of bait. It's by Lunker Lakes. This is in a sprayed grass color. That's a big son of a gun. Am I going to use this necessarily right now? I'll wait for spring, because it's in the sprayed grass color, to go throw this in the grass. The good thing about this bait is it's a big bulky bait to maybe throw on some jigs, to throw on some beds. And I would obviously just use a football head on this one. I would really necessarily Texas rig it. But the good thing I like this is it's a flimsy bait, but yet right here it gets really thick and strong. And then the claws come out, and they're pretty strong for right now. I'm not going to stretch it like Z-Man, because I don't know if they're going to pop off. But if you guys can see that, it definitely looks like a crawdad. And I think that's it for our kind of New Year's Eve
creature segment.
Mixed all together again. I'm Tyler Frey.
I'm Casey Custer.
He's Casey Custard. Stay tuned for more episodes and unboxings.